Hey gang, Scott here. I've got a quick tip for you with gradients and balancing exposure. You can do this in any tool that has a gradient, and the gradient lets you control exposure. And so this is Lightroom, ON1, Photoshop, Luminar, basically any tool I can think of. You have this capability. The reason I point it out is because of this photo here. Now this is, I like the photo. This is the finished product. And the backstory is the tide was rolling out. I was losing the action of the waves with these foreground rocks. And let me hit the backslash key. This is the photo I captured. It was like, this is just, it's just virtually unusable. What am I going to do with this? You can see in basics, I was like, all right, I jacked up exposure really, really far to compensate. But even that wasn't enough. It's the gradient tools that save the day. Let me toggle these off for just a second. So this is after a lot of exposure work, and you saw that +1 exposure, and this still wasn't enough to salvage the photo. After, take a look at that histogram shift, right? That shift really far, before and after. What's going on? What was the magic? There's 3 pins on here. This is actually just for the whitewash in the foreground, that pin here. But what the magic was is these 2 pins here, just this, roughly speaking, vertically oriented gradient. This first one here was actually the second one that I added. It added an additional quarter exposure increase to everything on the right hand side of the photo. And this one here was a 0.6 increase. So these two get coupled together. You're talking about nearly another full stop increase on the right hand side, in addition to the 1 stop I had already added. And like I said, rushed for the photo, messed up the settings, my filters weren't in the right position, the polarizer was probably in the wrong position, and I was just trying to capture something before the tide changed its mind. I was able to salvage it with these gradients. So just 2 things, right? These 2 here, no special major super secret adjustments here, just exposure, and layering 2 of them on top of one another let it blend out smoother, right? So to show you, if I take away the second one, you can see that this added, this one here, great. It smoothed things out. The center part of the photo is looking good, but this right-hand edge still kind of dark. Undo, add that second one back in to balance things out. Hopefully you wouldn't need to add a 3rd or a 4th. You can if you need to, or just start to stretch those feathers out there. If you really need to get a smooth gradation, it's possible. So if you've got a photo that you like, but the exposure was off and you have a strong light source like the sun coming in from one side of the photo or the other, try a few gradients with just the exposure slider. You may be able to rein in the photo to something that you can keep and use and enjoy. Got any questions? Go ahead and drop them below. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.